Welcome to the SWBL podcast. My name is Brian Benway, your host, and today's podcast is presented by 1356 Public House, our presenting sponsor for season 20. And today joining me is Expos captain Kevin Wiethuchter. How you doing, buddy?
Doing good. Glad to be here.
Yeah, me too, man. It's good to see you. Today we're going to be talking kind of like all the other captain interviews, but we're going to be breaking down the roster, looking a little bit at the division, and then and a little bit at the schedule, and just kind of talking about what to expect from the Expos for season 20. So let's jump in. Let's talk a little bit about season 19 last year. You were the defending champions, ended up going 3-7. So not exactly how you planned on, defending the title, but what do you think, maybe caused the downturn? Do you have any thoughts on last year, or what maybe your team's saying about the finish last year that's maybe propelling you into this season?
I think all in all, we are kind of coming off the high of winning the championship the year before. And, it would have been great if we would have made another playoff run. But what we did the year before was, we're still kind of shocked by it, as a lot of the other teams are too in the league. So I think, we were just out there last year to have fun. If something went our way and we were able to get back into the playoffs and go far, to the championship again, that would have been great. But with how great some of these other teams are in the league, we weren't expecting to go back to back, because that very rarely ever happens, or I don't know if it has happened yet. So.
It hasn't happened since the Rays, so it's been a long time. Yeah.
But we were, it was just a regular season for us. We're used to maybe getting 1 to 2 wins every year, until that year we just kind of figured everything out and put it all together. So
yeah, well, you guys are trailblazers. You guys are the reason that other teams can feel like any year could be their year. It doesn't matter, if you're one of the talked about, the top ranked people or whatever. Everybody has a shot. And if you have a good team with good players and good chemistry, like, anything can happen, which I think has only made the league better, and you guys are a huge aspect of that. And your legacy is going to be partly built on that, so definitely something to be proud of for sure. But how are the guys feeling, coming off that 3-7 record and coming into season 20? What are you hearing in the clubhouse?
I think we're pretty excited. We got the departure of Brett, but no knock on Brett, but he wasn't as good as he's been last year. But then again, the rest of our team wasn't really either. Mm-hmm. But I think we brought back Evan, which we weren't sure if we were going to do that at first, because there was talk about him possibly going to the Rockies. But they added other pieces. So we brought back him. We think Jeremy's going to be a good piece for us with pitching and with hitting. And then excited to see what Jack Light can add to our roster as a rookie, the youngest rookie in the league.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, let's talk about your roster, and we'll dive into those two names you just brought up. But Jeremy Worrell, the new signing, a former Brewer, former Astro, has had a lot of experience on the mound. So presumably he's coming in as your number 2, kind of replacing Brett from an inning standpoint. Is that kind of what we should expect?
Yeah, I think that's the way we're looking at it. Obviously Jimmy being, number 1, and Jeremy number 2 there, and then kind of filling in where we need to. But I think we're looking possibly getting another arm in the off season, but I think with Jimmy and Jeremy, we should be decent going in there.
Yeah, I think one aspect of Jeremy's game is how much better and better he's gotten each year on the mound. And he was dominant in summer league. And even last year, pitching for the Brewers, pitching a good amount. He single-handedly beat the Royals, which is a tough team to beat. So obviously I'm a fan of Jeremy's, been a friend with his for a long time, and obviously was an Astro for a long time too. So excited to see what he can do. And then, let's talk about your rookie and Jack Light, and a familiar face around the park, but what can we expect from a playing time aspect from Jack? And what are you kind of expecting out of him?
I mean, playing time's probably still a little bit to be decided. Obviously, I want to get, my team that's there already, they're going to get a majority of the playing time. If we have, a blowout game where I can throw Jack in there to get a few at bats, we'll do that. Possibly, play him in the field because we know he can do that. But it'll just be kind of up to me. And I think in talking to John about it, he kind of knows like he's not going to be a day one starter. So it's kind of just building our farm system for the future, I think.
Well, you're the first one to get a really good head start on that. So it's a nice job. Yeah, let's dive into the rest of your roster. Obviously yourself, you've got Jimmy Nelson, who was ranked 13th in the rankings this year. So definitely deserved maybe a little bit of a drop. I can't remember where he was ranked in season 19, but I do remember he was ranked pretty high.
Yeah.
He's obviously one of the highest ranked pitchers every year. Everybody's afraid of his knuckleball. When he's on, man. And you've got Germer coming back. You've got Matt Egerstrom coming back. And then, like you said, Evan Close. So, one question mark that people would say going into this season, you kind of lose two of your mainstays in the field. Germ played a lot in the field for you guys too, but I know John was out in right field a lot. And Brett played a lot of left field when he wasn't pitching. So what's the plan in the field? Are you kind of going to just maybe rotate some guys and see what sticks, or do you have a plan like kind of set going into the year?
But I think we'll definitely rotate a lot. I know we can trust Germer in the field, whether it be left or right. And then, Evan had some time in the field too. And I think we can trust him out there as well. I don't typically like playing in the field, but if I need to get out there, I will. It'll just kind of be how everybody's feeling. Egerstrom couldn't even play the field too. He hasn't always had a lot of opportunity out there before, but I'm very comfortable putting him out there. So
awesome. Yeah. Well, you've got, you're one of four teams with the 7 players on their roster. So that's the largest roster size of any team. But like I said, there are 4. So how do you feel like that adds or gives you maybe a leg up on maybe some of these other smaller rosters? Is it, being able to be flexible with what you're doing, both lineup and in the field?
I mean, yeah, I like it because I have more options, but at the same time, if something's going right and I have a certain roster already picked out, I don't always really want to sway from it and overthink it because I'm putting the wrong people in there and then we're not, producing any offense or anything like that. So it kind of goes both ways. And I know none of my teammates are really worried about getting playing time, so they're not going to complain about that or anything, but it's just kind of trying to keep it similar. And if we're playing well, try to keep it that way. But if we need to, we can always switch it up and kind of go a different route and see what sticks.
Yeah. Well, it's nice to hear, a captain say, my guys aren't necessarily worried about playing time. That's got to take a lot of pressure off your shoulders, because I know for myself and for other captains, that's a huge concern and a constant battle of getting guys time, playing time, whether it be in a situation or whether it be a full-time role. So talk to me a little bit. I mean, obviously you were the inaugural winner of the Manager of the Year. You were nationally ranked as well as a captain. And, talk to me a little bit about, how you've built that trust, because if you're not getting complaints from your guys about playing time, obviously they're trusting you to put them in the best position to win. So just talk to me a little bit about that chemistry that you guys have that's apparent, for the rest of the league.
Yeah. I mean, I've always kept all of my teammates, involved with figuring out who wants to bat where in the lineup and who's feeling comfortable, who wants to pitch against this team. When I had Jimmy and Brett, like who feels comfortable, who wants the Astros, who wants, the Rockies, and kind of went from there. And then always just kind of when John was still on the team, he was kind of a assistant manager that I would always, discuss with him before, like, think we're going to go with this roster, is like, do you have any, discrepancies or anything you think might work better? But in the end, they always told me it was up to me to make the decision. So that's what I went with. But I think we just have that communication on our team where we can all just kind of discuss and figure out what we think we should do best for the team.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. So what makes this team better than last year?
I mean, I think we're still coming into this league just to have fun. I mean, if we end up winning a championship, great. But every year, I mean, we're just looking to come in that weekend and just having a great time like we do every year. Mm-hmm. If we make it far in the playoffs, that's great. But if we don't, we know we're still going to have a great time. So we're not too worried about winning awards. Not to say that, other teammates before in the past few years were, but I think it's just, I just like having the laid back feeling with our team, and nobody takes it too seriously where they're going to want to just, quit at the end of the season if we don't win enough.
Yeah, that's good. That's nice because there's a longevity you can build on your roster too. I mean, if you remember my first couple of years of just people, basically abandoning the league, let alone my team, like I had to rebuild rosters. And so knowing like you can actually build on something and pick guys that are going to fit into your kind of the chemistry, like I've said, but the type of player that will fit in the mold and get along with all of your guys. That's really nice to hear.
That's what's been the thing with like Jimmy from day one. Jimmy signed like a maximum deal for our team. Egerstrom and Germer are both on the same page now too. So I know they're not going anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. So, that's awesome. It's nice to have a core and then be able to add pieces like Jeremy or, Jack as he continues to grow up. But obviously he's been swinging a yellow bat since I can remember. So,
right.
You know that there's going to be something there and he's going to be a good player in the league at some point. So, well, let's jump into a little bit more of kind of what you're facing in season 20. You are in the Corner Pub and Grill division, and the three teams in that division are yourselves, and then the 1 seed Yankees, and the 2 seed, the new team, the White Sox. So looking at, this division, what were your, first initial thoughts when you saw the draw, when you see this kind of this division shake out?
We always know the Yankees are going to be tough. Obviously they did lose Jackson, but he just went to the White Sox, so we're still going to have to face Jackson twice. We always know he's a tough pitcher against anybody in the league. So, it's going to be a test for us, like it has been every year. I never view our team as like a top 5 team, even when we won the championship, because there's so many good players on every other team that it's just, it's a difficult league to play in. And you never know really where you stand until you get out there and play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I don't know if you've listened to it, but we did a recent schedule release podcast, and we kind of looked at every team's schedule and made a couple notes. And one thing we talked about with you guys, and it's crazy, but you have 6 games before Sunday.
Yeah.
And then you're done by noon on Sunday, and you have basically all Sunday afternoon and most of the morning Monday. And then you play in that toilet bowl, the bottom 2 teams from the last year playing that final game on Monday. So you have basically all Sunday afternoon and then most of the morning Monday. So you have huge breaks and you're front loaded. What do you think of that schedule, the way that kind of panned out? I assume it's partly due to schedule conflicts. that's why you got scheduled that way, but what are your thoughts on your schedule?
I know a majority of it was with Germer. He has a wedding to go to on Sunday. He won't be there after like noon on Sunday. So I know Sam did front load our schedule quite a bit, but I think that'll be a good time for our team just to hang out and drink all afternoon, get in the pool.
Yeah.
So it's actually sounds like a nice break to me. I haven't looked at the schedule too deeply,
Yeah.
but I know we do play in that game one, so that already takes one game away from us that weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're playing Friday night, the last game Friday night. So I kind of assumed that we were probably pretty front loaded, but
yeah.
I
And
think
actually you don't play again. I'm looking at the schedule now. You don't play on Saturday. You don't even start till 11. So you've got
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, 4. Yeah, 4 games basically Saturday afternoon.
yeah,
So yeah, I think, you know, one thing I said was if it was going to benefit any team to have a huge break in their schedule, it would be you guys.
Yeah.
That you guys can have a day you can circle or say we're going to let loose and just have a great time. You know, if we have to focus in for half a day, we will.
Yep.
But we can just enjoy ourselves the rest of the time. And it certainly seems to fit into your team character pretty well. So,
and I think in the last few years past, Saturday has been that day where Saturday afternoon we just drink way too much and all those games become a blur. Even the season we won the championship, like Saturday afternoon, I think we lost about 3 games, and the next day we just went on a run. We're like, what's going on here? Like, how are we doing this?
Yeah. Well, and you know, talking about that season, I was just thinking again back to the schedule. You were in that last game of the season that year too.
Yeah.
And that was the one that, you know, there's all the video of you guys knocking the Astros out of the playoffs in that game. So it doesn't, you know, that game can be really, really important. Maybe not necessarily. I mean, it was for you that year, got you into the playoffs, but it also knocked the team out. So who knows what could happen, you know, between you and the Marlins in that game. So,
right.
Yeah. You know, one thing you brought up as well was game 1, and you guys played in that last year. So you have a little experience of at least what to expect around that. Talk to me a little bit about your experience that, and then will that experience benefit you guys for game 1 and facing the Astros? And you can say whatever you want, by the way. Like, I know I'm the Astros manager, but this is me as podcast host. So
yeah. I don't feel like there'll be any advantage for us playing it this year. It was definitely a lot of fun being part of it last year, just being, you know, the 2 teams coming back from the championship the year previous. And while Sam kind of, you know, he said he liked that idea of playing the 2 teams in the championship, but I also like the idea of bringing us back to see if we can defend our title in that game 1.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Astros, who are one of our bigger rivals, whether we're in the same division or not. But I think, it's a fun time. It's a cool experience because they like to go all out. We know how Sam and all those guys like to go all out with everything. So it was a fun time last year. I don't really see it being a big advantage to us this year, but hopefully it is, and we can come out victorious again this year against the Astros and start off the season 1-0.
Yeah. It's certainly got to make that kind of 2-week break between the game and the season feel pretty good. And I imagine if you're on the losing end, it makes it not very fun.
Right.
So, so the power rankings just came out, or at least the grades, maybe not the power rankings in definitive order of teams, but, you know, we'll get a little bit into your rankings, or into your grades, but where do you expect to be? Like, where do you think you'll be ranked in the power rankings? And then where do you think you should be ranked if it's different?
Just as overall team, or by
just overall teams. And we'll kind of dive into the hitting, pitching, fielding rankings after this.
I'm thinking we're probably around 7 or 8 right now. And I mean, I wouldn't put us much higher than that, honestly. I see a few teams probably being under us. I still see the Marlins should still be number 9, but that's because they still got more to prove. But I think we're probably still around a 7 or 8 right now, which, I mean, that might have been what we were the year we won the championship. I don't know.
Yeah,
We
I
might
can't
have been.
remember. It couldn't have been much higher.
Yeah.
But I would have thought you would have been like 7th, maybe. I don't know. But
Yeah, we might have even been 9 that year. I don't know.
yeah, who knows? Well, so like I said, the rankings, not necessarily the actual grade came out, but the rankings for hitting, pitching, and fielding came out, and you came out ranked 9th in hitting, 5th in pitching, and then 9th in fielding. So what were your thoughts about the grades? Did you feel like you got kind of screwed, or?
I wouldn't say we got screwed. I mean, we've always had, I mean, even the year we won, we didn't put up that much offense. We didn't score that many runs. We just held people to very few runs.
Yeah.
You know, in tough run. We've never been a team that, I mean, we have some guys that can hit home runs, but we don't do it every single time like some of these guys that go up there and every single hit they have is a home run.
Yeah.
We just
a lot of promise and clutch. Somehow you've got a clutch gene in Matt Germer, because the last 2 years, that guy has just tore it up in big moments.
And that's the thing. I mean, I know I can rely on him because, you know, he wants to be there every weekend. And I always just know like he can do something, you know, crazy like that and just come up clutch right when we need him to. So,
yeah.
So, I mean, being ranked 9th in hitting doesn't surprise me. I think we could be a little bit higher, but you know, we're always looking to improve in that, but we know we need to get, you know, some different bats if that is necessary. But I like the team that we're working with, and I know what my players can do, so I'm not too worried about that.
Yeah. What about 5th? Because like I said, you've got a Cy Wiffle winner on your squad in your ace and Jimmy, and then you bring in, as we talked about, Jeremy, who is an established winner on the mound too. So do you feel like 5th is right when it comes to pitching, or do you feel like maybe you should have been higher?
I think we could probably be maybe one step higher, maybe third or fourth in that. But I mean, with the departure of Brett, I think Brett's name just kind of added to our pitching rotation last year and the year before. I mean, he still has a great arm. I don't know if it'll hold up though. I heard he had a bad elbow, but that's just on the down low here.
Yeah.
But I think Jeremy has, you know, we can trust him in, you know, being our second starter. I don't think Jimmy had the best year last year as he did like the year before or before that. I feel like there's a lot more home runs he gave up last year, but I mean, I know he still knows what he's doing, and people are confused by his knuckleball. So
yeah,
I think 4th or 5th would probably be pretty accurate, just with some of these other teams and the pitchers they've added and stuff. Over the season. I mean, every team seems to have at least 2 pretty solid pitchers. So
yeah, I mean, that's the name of the game anymore. It's gone are the days where you can just have one stud and one guy who can throw strikes and you can win a championship. You really need to have 2, and it even helps to almost have 3 when you get into a tight spot anymore. So, you know, and then the last spot was 9th for your fielding. My wife is letting the dog out. Sorry. You got ranked 9th in fielding, and we kind of discussed that. There's a lot of, I kind of feel like that was just because there's so much unknown on who's going to be out there, and there's not a ton of experience from that standpoint. You've got guys who have done it, but not consistently. for like a whole season played at one specific role in the field. Do you feel like ninth is right, or do you still feel like you should have been a little higher, knowing what your guys can do?
I mean, I'm fine with ninth. I've said this every year that we don't really care about fielding, so we got guys that are fully capable of catching a pop fly or getting a ground ball out there. So that's all I really care about. I don't look too much into fielding.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, so let's circle back to your division then. Like, let's go ahead and pick a winner. Who do you think is going to take the corner pub? The Yankees, the White Sox, or the Expos?
I mean, I'm gonna have to say us just because I think I like to say that every year.
Yeah.
But I think after us would probably be the Yankees. I don't know. It's gonna be close between the Yankees and the White Sox because they kind of split up the Yankees a little bit, but the Yankees did add Gus, which is big for them, but Jackson and Callaway go in the White Sox. And I can't remember who else they have now, but
they've got Derek Cornell and Ty Butler and Leon.
Okay. Yeah, so they think they'll be looking pretty good too. So
yeah, certainly feels like that the Yankees White Sox is a little bit of a rivalry in the making.
Yeah.
Sure. So
we don't get put in a tough division too. So
yeah,
just have to work our way out of it, I guess.
Yeah, just fight and claw, right?
Yep.
So let's talk about the other divisions real quick. I'm gonna have you pick a winner. So the Cardinal Blinds and Shutters division is the Astros, the Athletics, and the Orioles, the new Orioles. Who do you think gonna take that division?
I think the Astros have a good chance this year, honestly. The A's in the last few years just kind of been, I don't know, middle of the road to me. And then I don't know. I'm not sold on the Orioles this year. I know they got some good players, but I don't know if it's gonna mesh and it's gonna. So we'll see, I guess.
Yeah, the Orioles feel like it's like a Golden State Warriors kind of thing. They just try to load up on star power and see if it gels. So
well, it's more like the Lakers this year. They got all the old guys that are
yeah
that are all like stars, but they were stars like 10 years ago.
Yeah. Very true. Very true. And then the other division, the Ketty Nye Center division, you've got the Twins, the Rockies, and the Marlins. So who do you think takes that one?
It's going to be a battle between the Rockies and the Twins, I guess. I mean, the Twins are always solid. They pretty much make the playoffs every year. I think the Rockies have added some good depth. I know just seeing Adam play in Summer League, I think the Rockies adding him is a huge sign because I feel like every time I saw Adam North bat in Summer League, he hit a home run. So,
Dang.
I mean, if he can continue to do that, then that's a pretty for them.
Yeah. Yeah. And they added some quality pitching depth too, because they both captain teams in the MOIF league. So it is fast pitch, but at the same time, they've got a lot of wiffle ball experience. So losing Breida, they added some pretty quality, like you said, depth. So then you said there's a battle. Who do you think takes it then?
I guess I'll go ahead and take the Rockies in that league.
Okay. So then you've got the Expos, the Rockies, and the Astros making the playoffs. Pick the wild cards. Pick the last two teams to make the playoffs.
Oh, I'll probably still put the Twins and the Yankees in there.
All right. Be a fun playoff there for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so next we're going to just kind of do a little bit of a rapid fire.
All right.
It's 10 questions. You can give explanations if you want. We can go at whatever pace, but some will be about the league and some will be more about just getting to know you and your team a little bit more. Okay.
All right.
So what's the final record for the Expos?
6-4.
Okay.
Regular season.
Yeah, that's all I'm asking for. Who is the team MVP for season 20 for the Expos?
Matt Germer.
Let's go, Germ.
Yeah.
Favorite 90s song?
90s. Probably something by Pearl Jam, but I can't think of one song off the top of my head.
Nice. That's all right. I think we had a Pearl Jam entry by another person, but I can't remember for sure. Who will lead the league in strikeouts in season 20?
Oh. Batting?
Sorry, pitching.
Pitching. I'm gonna still pick Brett on this, I think.
Okay. Who is your favorite team to play against?
The Astros, but I think this year might be the Orioles. So
That would be, I can't wait to watch that matchup for sure.
and I don't have anything against them wanting to leave, but I think it'll still be fun.
Yeah. Well, it's not talked about enough. Everybody's talked about sorry, what?
Especially because we have John's son playing on our team now. So
Yeah. We, it's not talked about enough. We've talked a lot about the splitting up of the Yankees and the whole White Sox Yankees kind of mashing, but nobody's talking really about the fact that you have two guys from the Expos left to join the Orioles.
Yeah.
So that is going to be a fun matchup to watch. And I can tell you for sure the Astros are going to be rooting hard for the Expos there. So,
Yep.
Let's see. Favorite place to order lunch during the season?
Lion's Choice.
Lion's Choice. Nice. Sponsor, shout out.
Yep.
Who will lead the league in RBIs in season 20?
Probably Gus.
Okay. You're having a movie night for the team. What movie do you show?
Sandlot.
Sandlot. Nice. Choose one and give up the other two. So you can only keep one of these three. The pool, alcohol, or lawn chairs.
I'll give up lawn chairs.
You got to give up two.
Give
one.
up two.
Yeah, so you're giving up lawn chairs.
We'll give up the pool and lawn chairs, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, can't have Shanty Town without a little bit of booze.
Yeah.
And then who wins the championship in season 20?
I'm gonna give it to the Rockies, actually.
Rockies, new look Rockies.
Yeah.
Awesome. That'll be fun. That'll be how many years has it been? But they won fairly recently, maybe the year before you, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
That sounds
3 years ago.
When they still had Brett, yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I appreciate your time, Kevin. Let me run through the sponsors real quick. 1356 Public House, Brex, Reuben Brown, our division sponsors, Ketty Nye Center, Quarter Pub and Grill, Cardinal Blinds and Shutters. Breckenridge Brewery is back, Logex, High Road Craft Ice Cream, STL Cycle Saloon, Lion's Choice, Sticker Mule, Amp Up Action Park, Andy's Frozen Custard, and Daily Smokehouse. We've got a couple more podcasts coming at you guys. We're going to continue the captain interview series now. We'll look at the overall power rankings, and then we'll be doing a season preview as well as a fantasy wiffle ball podcast. So stay tuned for that. Any final words, Kevin, before we take off?
Nope. Thanks for having me and looking forward to Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, let's go. Well, I appreciate it. Like I said, taking the time out to do this and looking forward to seeing you and the rest of the guys on Memorial Day weekend.
Yep.
All right. See you guys.